going on, everybody? Welcome back to another page of the playbook. This is a true full house that we have here tonight to recap week one, talk about week two, and give you guys all of our picks against the spread. You got the usual suspects. We've got Opal, we've got Cephs, we've got Don, Sage, Bron. And then who's this guy over here? We got Bob in the house. Bob, welcome to the Zoom meeting. Welcome to the pick show, baby. It is good to have you. Fans are going nuts. They can't believe that you're here with us tonight. You ready to roll?
I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited. Been a while, so good to be back. Good to be back.
Great, good to have you. Good to have you. There's a clap up there. Very good. Very good. Woo. Varying levels of success for week one, gentlemen. Varying levels. I mean, we got Addison 1-0. We got Nate 1-0. Colin 1-0. Sage 1-0. No, wait, sorry. Unfortunately, Sage. Woo! First one's in, baby. Hey,
I'm still heartbroken.
By a toe. By a literal toe.
And we were going for two.
Yeah.
We had it up.
Yeah.
Harbaugh was already calling it. He said, two. We want to win this game right now. And they would have. He'd have gotten it. I'm very confident in that. I mean, toe-to-toe with the reigning champs. You cannot be too upset with that.
You had that one in your pocket. Toe-to-toe.
Toe-to-toe. Isaiah Likely toe to Isaiah Likely toe. Yes. That's two. Woo-hoo. Bob, Colts, tough loss. Great game, though. Fantastic football game.
Yeah, lots to be excited about. A lot of issues, but hey, play them again soon. So we'll see how that's going to go. So
That's right. And something good for you is you, first place, tied for first place in the weekly picks at 8-8. Tied with Addison at 8-8.
Come on.
Tied with Colin at 8-8.
Three-way.
8-8. Sage, you went 7-9. So right there. And I went 6-10. I'm just giving you guys a little head start before I start trying, okay? Don't you worry about it. I'll get rolling. This is early season jitters. I got hooked multiple times. I don't want to talk about it. Hurt my feelings really bad. But we'll get it figured out. Sage and the technical difficulties.
Sage.
that Burger King Wi-Fi is going to get to him.
The Burger King manager just came up and said, "You got to get off our Wi-Fi, punk."
Please leave. Yeah.
I said, "Please leave, sir."
He's
You've
loitering.
been here for too long.
Said enough of these settle shots from you, Nate. I am gone.
I'm out of here. Got him twice and he's gone. Mortal locks were ugly. Let's just call it what it is.
Yeah.
It was not a good week. Colin, I struggled on how to grade you out because you gave us two mortals before you actually gave us your mortal. Your other two mortals were right, but then you planted your flag on the Patriots, my under 15.5, and they scored 16 points.
That is how my gambling to the NFL and college football season has gone to this point. If there is a hook, I will be all over it, but on the wrong side of it.
Yes, no doubt about it. So I've got 1-1 question mark written next to you. Sage is the only one who got it with the Patrick Mahomes over passing yards. Addison with the mortal lock of Atlanta, stealing it from Colin, who wanted Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh outright winners. We talked about Atlanta's offense and being concerned a little bit. They started slow. Kirk Cousins and the boys started slow. Maybe he's cooked. I don't know. More on that. I was off Dolphins Jags over a defensive struggle for both teams. Yeah. So shockingly, a defensive matchup, something I didn't have on my bingo card. That's for damn sure. And then Bobby getting the double smack in the sack, taking the Texans over his Colts, thinking, oh, it's okay. No matter what, I win. Wrong. The Texans are going to win by 2 instead of 3.
Shane Steichen went for it instead of kicking the field goal. Everything could have been at peace. I could have been upset with the loss, but happy with the mortal lock. But we move.
That's all right. We will get better this week in our mortal locks. I guarantee.
Can't be worse.
Cannot be worse.
No.
Yeah.
Cannot be worse. When it comes to like the sleepers, the fantasy sleepers, like Sage's sleepers, I'm only going to mention the Andre Ilyasovas. He did lead Cincinnati in targets. He did tie for the lead in targets with Jamar Chase. Not that it mattered because the Bengals were awful. So good on him for at least having that one. Ray Davis for the Bills didn't do anything, but that's okay. We won't talk about him. Addison, the outrageous take. I was hoping for you it would be real. I was hoping.
Yeah, I wanted it bad.
Yeah. We won't even.
Instead, Caleb doesn't even break 100. So,
Your outrageous take, and that probably would have been outrageous enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you went the other way, under 100, no tuds, that would have been
and a win.
Yeah. That would
That would have been a good
spicy.
prediction.
Yeah, that would have been a crazy one. Colin, the locks, real solid, honestly. 2-1 overall. Going Philly -2.5, easy money. Dallas, Cleveland over 41.5. Dallas almost did it themselves. And then the money line parlay. The Dolphins took care of business for you, but the Bengals losing to the Patriots in the biggest week 1 upset in recent memory, honestly. One of them. That was crazy. I cannot believe they lost that game.
Yeah, if you looked
You
me
said
in the eyes and told me a -405 favorite was going to cost us a 3-0 week on the locks, I would have said you're a big old jokester. But guess what? Here we are, and I'm the jokester. So we moved 2-1, still a winning week, 3-0 incoming this week.
That's right. Addison, can you get Sage back in here? He's tweeting
Yes.
in the group chat.
I got you. My fault. I did not
Let
see.
me in with
I did not
Eric
see that
Andre
he
rattling
wasn't-
rattling the
Because
pen.
he was able to join last week, just back. So I was assuming, like he'd be able to, but that's on me.
He's struggling. That's
Wow,
awesome.
Clark's gatekeeping Sage from the pod.
I'm
Yeah, he said-
gatekeeping. I'm
He said
gatekeeping,
Bob's
man.
here. See you later, Sage.
Yeah.
I
Thanks
got
for
that do
playing.
not disturb on. And it's in right now. I'm sorry, Sage. We're mid pod.
There he comes back. Let him get in here. There he is.
bro.
We're back.
My fault,
Yeah.
dog. My fault, man.
Sage, you had us cracking up with that. Let me in.
That was gold, man.
That was great.
We're back.
We were just talking about last week. We were all kind of off a little bit. I mean, 7-9. You did hit your mortal. You're the only one who hit their true mortal. Well done. We'll take it. And then Andre, look, I'm never gonna say it right. Andre Yosevas led the Bengals in targets. Didn't ball out, but he led them in targets. Tied with Jamar Chase. Very impressive.
Yeah.
Now, week 1 always is weird. We never know what to expect in week 1. Who's going to be, are the good teams actually good? Are the bad teams going to be bad? Who's going to come out and ball? So what shocked you guys this week? Bobby, I'm coming to you first. I want you to lead us off. What shocked you this week? You can go good or bad. I'll leave the floor to you.
Yeah, I actually got 2. So to start, you already kind of touched on it, but is Kirk Cousins cooked in Atlanta? I know on Twitter it was all over the place, but just seeing his dropbacks, really not having a lot of confidence after being injured. They have a lot of weapons and things like that, but I guess I'm drafting a QB doesn't look half bad right now if he continues to play like that the rest of the season. Then even in a loss, Anthony Richard's stock is through the roof. 3 passes of over 50 plus yards. Guy's an alien, all the talent in the world. I know everyone saw the slip pass to Alec Pierce, 65 yards. Third longest pass in StatCast, and the other 2 are Aaron Rodgers. That's pretty good company to be in. So no, stocks through the roof, even though we lost. A lot of good to come from it. Defense is still Swiss cheese, which Chris Ballard's gonna have to answer for. But other than that, Anthony Richardson looked really well, like really, really good. And Kirk may actually be cooked. So no more Kirko change, sadly.
Yeah, losing on that Colts defense, losing Brents also for the year really hurts. A second-round corner out of Kansas State a couple years ago, very athletic. That one hurts. Craziest thing about Anthony Richardson's game for me is that he completed 9 passes for 212 yards. That's crazy. That is absurd. That is an absurd statistic. And he had a rushing touchdown, led the Colts in rushing. I mean, the guy is going to be a fantasy football darling. And all he's going to do is just tease you with his talent and his potential. But then you see the 2 touchdown misses to Adonai Mitchell, and you're like, there's the problem.
And I'll say with one of them, there was a pass interference on it, so you got to assume. And I will say, AD being a rookie, maybe the timing's just not there yet. He is going to miss the layups, which is fine, but 3 passes over 50 yards. I mean,
take that.
He reminds me of Josh Allen, just being able to put the team on his back. And I mean, we definitely didn't win the game, but the only reason I feel like we were in it was because of his heroics throughout it. And also shout out Alec Pierce, honestly.
Yes.
A lot of doubters. Always been a deep ball threat, had a really good offseason. Looks like he's actually finally able to come down with some balls. So that's always a good thing. So
yeah, just another weapon for the Colts, man. 3 good receivers, honestly.
And no Josh Downs this week, which is his safety blanket underneath. So I'm hoping with him returning, he'll start to convert a little bit more on the short yardage stuff. But what are you gonna do?
I like it. Yeah, I like those for the shocking ones from week 1. Colin, you're shocking good and shocking bad from week 1. What you got?
We're going to start with the shocking good, and I thought long and hard about a couple of different guys, but I realized their opponents might be inferior on every side of the ball. So I'm going to go a homer pick, shocking good, all the noise in the offseason, so much adversity. They didn't do a single damn thing in free agency, and then they go and blow out the home dominant Cleveland Browns, just waltzed all over them. Talk about dominating in all three phases, offense, defense. You get a punt return touchdown as well. Maybe Mike McCarthy's best game he's called as a Cowboys head coach. If not, it's up there for sure. Now, talking about bad, it could be recency bias, and they did have a tough week 1 road game. But those New York Jets, I mean, my God, they looked bad. Besides a free play touchdown and then a garbage time touchdown, they get one true drive. Much like my sex life, 7 great minutes, and then the rest is terrible.
Just all bad.
So that's what the Jets were on Monday night, and they gave up, 180 rushing yards
Gashed.
to Jordan Mason?
Gashed.
Imagine if McCaffrey played. Like, that game might have been, or imagine if the Niners didn't kick, 5 field goals?
Yeah. Jake,
Imagine if they turned those. I mean, that game could have been much, much uglier than it was. And I don't know. Jets got a lot of questions, but tough road game, week 1. Don't put too much stock in it, but wow, they looked bad.
No, who's really smiling after that game is Hassan Reddick, because Brock Purdy was unbothered in that pocket all game. And even coming into it, the questions on the Niners were like, is this offensive line going to be that good outside of Trent Williams? Because Trent Williams is obviously that dude. But outside of him, who's, Colt McKivitz is on at right tackle. They're not, he's going to be under duress all game. And they didn't even get to Purdy at all. And then they just opened up lanes in the running game. The Jets defense is what surprised me the most about that game. I figured the offense would have some rust. Aaron Rodgers hasn't played football in, a year other than 4 snaps. And it's Nathaniel Hackett on as offensive coordinator, who I don't trust anyways. But I expected their defense to come out and show up. That's why I took them in our picks, was 4.5 with that defense. I trust them. But they let Mason run all over them. And then Brock Purdy just did his thing. I did bet his under passing yards, which was really nice. But I agree with you on that one. I was happily surprised with how bad the Jets defense looked. Made me very happy.
I mean, we got to keep moving, but I mean, just the trenches on both sides. That new
dominated.
line got pushed around, and then that D line just got no penetration all night. But
Agreed.
Tough L.
Yeah. Sage, your surprising things from week 1. What you got?
Yeah, I got one good and one bad as well. My good thing is Baker Mayfield staying consistent.
Yes.
Obviously, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers won every facet of signing Baker Mayfield. Currently has the highest quarterback rating in the entire league, tossing touchdowns to Evans, Godwin, and their new one, Jalen McMillan. Absolutely love that pick, and he even missed another one for McMillan that was later on in the game. So he could have had 2. They look like the most complete offense in their division, even with the Saints scoring damn near 50 points, but they did it against the Panthers. So not giving them too much credit. Not too much credit. And then my bad, you're not going to like this, Nate. The Dolphins running game.
Oh, terrible. It's awful.
Did a 30-yard rusher.
Yeah.
I mean,
no.
Them having a 3-headed monster at running back. I said right here, I was so proud of this. They look more like a 3-headed chihuahua.
True, though.
Just
Jeff
yapping.
Wilson, 5 for 26. Mostert, 6 rushes for 9 yards. And Achane, 10 for 24.
Yeah.
Obviously, Achane did some work through the air, but if you're drafting second round of fantasy, like a lot of people were, you're expecting a lot more from that.
Yeah, Achane did have the 7 for 75 and a touchdown. Like, fantasy-wise, he had a good day.
Yeah.
7 for 75, a touchdown, like 100 all-purpose, and a touchdown's all right with 7 catches. It's not bad. But yes,
but
shockingly bad run game.
With 10 carries, you're hoping for a little more than
Absolutely
0.4 yards a carry.
Yeah.
So real quick with the Dolphins, also shockingly bad the police officers.
Miami-Dade Police Department. Shockingly bad.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Not to jump on and just harp on the Dolphins, even though I love to do it, but Tua had the longest rush for a while there with that 11-yard scramble. And again, that just points 2 starters lost in the offseason on the offensive line. And is that going to be an impact going forward? Because Sage, I do agree that was a letdown for sure for week 1 from a team that was their strong suit. Obviously, Tua was dominant, but their run game was very good last year.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Devon Achane averaged like 8 yards a carry last year.
Yeah.
And then 2.5 against the Jags. Like, I know the Jags brought in Eric Armstead, and he's a good defensive tackle, but he's not a game-changing defensive tackle. Just no push in the run game in this game. It was a defensive struggle, man. Surprisingly, I thought this would be a high-scoring game between the two teams. No, both defenses said, we're like 37-year-old Calais Campbell was unbelievable for us. Where did that come from? Just very surprising defensive games from both teams, honestly.
Yeah.
Addison, surprising, good and bad.
Right on. I'll start with the good, and obviously I say it whenever we talk about him, but I love Cock, and that's Kevin O'Connell and the Minnesota Vikings head coach in the offense, and Sam Darnold. Got to give him the shout out. We said it when we were talking picks. He's going to have open receivers. You're going to be able to throw to those guys, but to start 12 of 12 from the field, and Aaron Jones pretty much to have 100 yards rushing as well. The offense looks like it could be clicking a little bit in Minnesota. Obviously, the G-men blow. Van Ginkel with the pick six. But overall, you just got to give the Van Ginkel loved it. You got to give the props though to Minnesota's offense. They came out and looked good. Sam Darnold looks like he can operate what Kevin O'Connell wants in his offense. So we'll see. Maybe Minnesota isn't as dead in the water as some people thought. And going to the bad. Obviously, I love him, and I'm a big homer, but we got to talk about the Bears' offense and how ugly it looked. It was great to get a victory, but no offensive touchdown scored. Horrendous. Caleb Williams didn't break 100 yards passing. That's obviously not good for the first game, and he was under 50% completion. Missed a couple easy ones. Keenan Allen did drop a touchdown, but Williams again missed him for an easy pitch and catch touchdown on the first drive of the game. Williams said on Hard Knocks he doesn't really get nervous. You looked overexcited, my friend, because just maybe a little too amped up for the game. If that's not nervous, whatever. But need to see improvement from the Bears offense soon because the defense is not going to be able to last. We see it year after year where there's an elite defense with a lackluster offense and it flames out eventually. And this was supposed to change with Caleb Williams coming in. I will give him this. Our interior offensive line was absolutely destroyed by the Titans defensive line. Sweat and Simmons just absolutely manhandled. Coleman Shelton looked lost out there. So Bears have some big time fixes, and they have to do it quick because they play the Texans, a playoff team from last year, this next week on Sunday Night Football. But got to at least mention the Bears offense and the bad when I hype them up as much as I do. They looked horrendous.
Yeah, I was trying to catch up on some of it, watch some of the tape from the game, and it seemed like Waldron was like, all right, just don't lose this game. Like just don't do anything crazy. We're gonna be nice and calm here. It's your first game. But even so, it's like they got to drop some easy completions to get him in rhythm. Yeah. I didn't see those coming for him. So I'm hoping
one thing I thought was very weird about Waldron, a lot of play action rollout screens. And I don't really like that. A screen, quick developing play, returning the quarterbacks back to a line of free blitzers. And then on top of it, Coleman Shelton's getting destroyed as the one guy that's actually blocking. That's not set up for success. If we're running screen plays, let's run them the old fashioned way, not a play action rollout screen, please. Thank you, Shane Waldron.
Agreed. I think week one, I think that their offense will look drastically different Sunday night. I think they're going to open the playbook up a little bit. It just seemed like it was we're going to roll out a super vanilla package and we're just better than the Titans. We're just going to win this game with a very basic offense. And that won't work going forward, but it worked week one.
Shout out Will Levis.
Yep.
Shout out Will Levis.
For that meme of him on his knees.
I saw that live and I was like, you can't put your hands on your head like that, man. That's just not good. But overall, like you said, Nate, want to see what's going forward.
Play. Literally crazy. Going down. I'm going to shovel it. It's third down. Take it. You're tied. You're in a tie ball game. It's third down.
They were winning by one.
And he just chucks it. And then the guy picks it off and he just goes, no, and just sits there like he is drops to his knees and prays to God. It's like, what? Get up and tackle.
Levis had done that a couple times in the game where he'd done that pitch motion right before he was sacked to get the ball away, and that time it bit him in the ass. So
Carson Wentz-esque. That is Carson Wentz-esque. And Callahan said if they didn't play offense, they actually might have had a chance to win the game, and that is sad but true. Sad but true.
Said if we punted on first down every time,
that's bad.
That's not what you want your offensive head coach to say.
Calling play, head coach guy that calls the plays. That's not good coming from him.
Bad luck. Agreed. My shocking week one bad was just how bad the Carolina Panthers looked, man. I mean, I know we talked about in this offseason, and I literally said, outside of Derek Brown, I can't name a defender. I can now name J.C. Horn. He got torched all game. Derek Carr looked unstoppable against them, and that's Derek freaking Carr and the Saints. They got whatever they wanted all game. They were supposed to have improved everywhere. The offensive line was supposed to be better. I didn't see that. They paid Robert Hunt $100 million. I didn't see that. They paid their left guard $57 million. Didn't see that at all. So I don't know where their money's at, but it wasn't on the front line there. And I'm doing it right now. Week one of the just ended of the 2024 season. I'm planting my flag. Bryce Young is a bust. I'm done with him. I'm out. sweeping declaration, he doesn't look the part at all. He looked so overwhelmed by what the defenses are doing and by what's going on around him. He's not processing the game quick enough. I'm out. I'm fully out. I may be wrong. Maybe he lights it up the rest of the year, and I'll eat that. But I'm out, completely out on Bryce Young officially. He doesn't look the part, man. And this is year 2 with an offensive-minded guy. They got you some weapons, and it just looks bad. His pick that he threw where he overthrew Adam Thielen looked terrible. He just looks lost. I don't know what it is, but I'm out. Sage, what were you going to say?
Yeah, I mean, you were mentioning the defense for a second. I just wanted to throw out there, Derek Brown out for season.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Their best player, I mean, the one thing that they could count on is like, hey, maybe we can stop the run, is gone.
Yes. Yeah.
Even for reason to be out on the team. But all offseason, we've been talking about, can the Chiefs three-peat? Panthers might three-peat as the number 1 overall pick.
They might.
Both would be firsts.
Yeah, very true. My shout out good I'm gonna do is I'm shouting out a little bit of both the Chargers and Joe Alt. Joe Alt's tape against Max Crosby was flawless. It's flawless. He shut him down. And he's playing a position he's never played before. I have harped on that all offseason, how he's a left tackle being forced to play the right side. And in his first game, he gets a top 5 pass rusher in the NFL and he blanks him. He completely shuts him out. That is unbelievably impressive.
Yeah, and I just to touch on that, that is one of the positions that a lot of high-ranking officials in the NFL, GMs, scouts, they talk about how tackles have a hard time adjusting immediately, even if you are elite, just because you're going up against, and of course it was Max Crosby, like you touched on. That's an elite pass rusher, top 5 pass rusher in the league. For Joe Alt to do that in his first game, Nate, Chargers got 2 great tackles, and that guy's going to be a Hall of Famer, first ballot. Everybody knew it, and he just showed it. Week 1, he's great. He's great.
Yeah, he went up against, like we said, one of the best pass rushers, and he completely shut him out. And the run game was working for them. Obviously, J.K. Dobbins, shout out him for balling out.
Sage, you called it. Guaranteed a week 1 touchdown for J.K. Dobbins, and he did.
Yeah.
There it is.
I think we're going to have to take a step back from Justin Herbert being this elite quarterback because he's not going to be asked to. They're not going to ask him to do that all season. I mean, he threw 26 times against the Raiders, and it was a close game most of the game, too. They didn't pull away till the 4th quarter when they scored 14. And even so, Harbaugh and that offense were like, no, we're going to just run the ball. Like, we're going to win by running the ball. We're not going to stray from that and deviate. And it worked. Shout out to them. Yes, the Raiders maybe stink, but it worked this week. So shout out them. I thought that was very impressive. That whole offensive line looked good. And I liked what I saw out of it. I liked what I saw out of LA. As critical as I've been of them, I liked what I saw. So that was week 1 in the NFL. It is in the books.